Hi all, my name is Andrey Putin, and next to me is my colleague Anton Belov, and we do complex software development. On a monthly basis, we do more than 12,000 development hours for various organizations, mainly large ones. And often we hear the same question. What is a PIM system, and how did they come about? Why, what for, what functions do they perform? Yes, sometimes, while talking about PIM systems, we understand what MDM systems are, since they are a particular case of a more general MDM system. Yes, and data management evolution doesn't stop at PIM systems. There is more to come. And since we see that the interest towards PIM systems in the Russian market is growing, we understand that there are lots of myths and nuances regarding implementing them and the opportunities they offer. We wanted to tell you a little bit more about PIMs, about their evolution and the opportunities they offer. Shall we start? Yes. Let's start with MDM systems. Sure, because they were first in class. It all started with the need by a company to store information. And one system was to be responsible for collecting it, to have one single source of truth. If you have information scattered around in various places, you never know where is what, and you have chaos in the company. First such systems were called MDMs, Master Data Management Systems. Which information could be stored in an MDM? Well, any information can be stored here. It's data agnostic. Whatever you need, you can store. Even the customer data, any information can be stored there. The first systems were used purely for text. Any type of text was stored in such systems. Next step in the evolution was to have product-specific data. Product attributes in particular. Products could have had various attributes. Sometimes they would align as families of attributes. So MDM systems started to specialize in products, and they would later be called PIM systems, Product Information Management. Here, the main point was that such systems store information we can trust. PIM systems, on the other hand, store product information we can trust. Next step of the evolution, enhance the data, which the product can maintain and brought about images in the database. I think SAP was first with their hybrids 10 years ago. They even invented the term. It's more than that. Yes, they invented the term PCM systems, Product Content Management. That's how SAP named them, and it stuck. Like when we say Xerox, we mean a copy machine. It's easier this way, like Pampers for diapers. Same with DAM systems. Sometimes we just say PCM. What's important here is that the next speed of evolution of PCM systems was a DAM system. It's not just a system that stores pictures. It's a system that stores any data about any product, any files, any videos, I don't know, anything at all that you can attach to a product which is not a text or a picture. Something you can separately save and attach to a product, that is what DAM systems are. Data Assets Management System. Our younger audience needs some additional explanation here, because they might not remember the times when there were no pictures in the data. PIM systems know how to work with pictures. And how is that? You can't have a product without a picture. But back in the 90s, or even earlier, it was not always self-evident. Because for the majority of systems back in the day, you didn't need a picture. For instance, in an ERP system, it was enough to just know the item number or a code. Just imagine, with all those hard drives of the past, the time it took for a picture to upload. Now it's so much easier. You make a picture from your phone and it stays in the cloud. Back then you had to use film and whatnot. Just imagine the efforts it took to make a picture. So although we have singled out these systems as separate, they're united by the common history. This is the story of a product concept management system. But there's another, a more general option. Which is it? What can DAM store apart from pictures? Say you have certificates to a product, the ones you get from the government. Word files, for instance. You can attach these Word files to a product and you get them stored with the product. Then you can record a presentation video for a product and you can attach it as well. You want a 3D model? Here you are. Enjoy a 3D model attached to your product. Even the engineers working with your product can attach stuff from their CAD systems and upload them to DAM. But if the company needs all of that to be stored in a product entry, they attach whatever they need. So, if you want your designers, engineers to be able to work with a product, you need to store certificates, or you have a photo lab generating product-specific content. Because, well, how DAM is different from just a file storage? Why don't you call a simple file folder a DAM system? First, the folder will not tell you what's inside. What's it all about? Second, it is not stored in the database. The system, on the other hand, helps you to better search the products. You can add new attributes to the products. You can set families of attributes. Basically, you get a relational database. A file folder is not relational. Please note also that DAM systems always work with file metadata. Say we've got a file with a picture and you want to know which picture is that. A frontal one or a side one? Which is this picture? Or what file is this? What is it? A certificate? Because the certificate can also have a validity period. Imagine the following task. You need to send the most recent relevant certificate. And if you don't have the certificate, you have a full-blown workflow out of one single file search. A whole process that has to be managed. Because for now, you can still do it in the ERP system. It can be programmed in 1S. But it's more of a clutch rather than the real 1S functionality. It means that your 1S will swell and will burst in the end if you keep adding lots of processes like that. And the cost of maintaining it is going to be so large that any changes will cost you a penny. It's a classical problem of modular architecture. So, we've got an MDM system that stores all the information. We've also got PIMs and DAMs that store product and file data, which can be united for a more uniform representation, but not necessarily. The file you store must not be related to a product. What can it be related to? The file? Yes, the file. A banner? I don't know. It might be related to a category of products, a group of them. It all depends on what does your marketing want from you. Can it also be related to a website? Yes, it can, but we're deviating already. Because all of these systems are needed for internal use only. It means that all these systems are needed inside the company for its internal processes. It is needed to avoid chaos in the product data. For external systems, for the external marketing, we need a new class of a system. It was the final spin in the PIM system's evolution, PXM systems, which, give me a new marker there, which play the main role here, helping to upload various datasets about products to various platforms. Basically, if these systems are catering for the needs of internal customers and internal systems, these ones are externally oriented. They mean to support external marketing, the venues where product information can be uploaded, and each venue will have their own product requirement. Example, an e-tailer like Wildberries or La Moda might have different rules for product photos. Some might require products to be pictured on a model, others to have them on a dummy, I don't know. Well, there can be different requirements. Moreover, we can have different venues. On Russian e-tailing platforms, you should have the Russian language, rubles, and the metric system. For an American platform, you need to have other measurement units. It has to be an imperial system, US dollars and American English. Also, there are various local state nuances. That's why you need a PXM system. Their main idea is to help to create thousands of descriptions for one product and upload them to target platforms. Can I add that PIM systems can also have various attributes for different markets? The product may have one description for the Spanish market, another one for the Russian, a third one for the French, and it works well in the PIM system. But what does marketing have to do with this? Because you told something about marketing, but some of our viewers might not still be clear. What does marketing have to do with this? Marketing is mentioned here because of the product positioning. You might have one product whose attributes do not change. Say you've got an orange marker pan, and it stays like that, it doesn't change. But it might be that some users, some customers in some channels need to be told that this marker is super eco-bio-organic. For the other users, it might be useful to say that the marker pan can run for 500 kilometers until it what? Until it ends. Until it ends, yes. And focus on some other properties. So one marker might have a multitude of descriptions, which are important for specific segments and specific users. It means that we're now talking about a very narrow targeting opportunity for very specific customers. And PXM systems are there for targeting specific customers. Yes, the PIM systems clients are mainly the internal systems, although it has to be said that PIM systems may provide the data and feed it to the vendors' marketplaces. Everything you need, basically. It can either be akeneo or pimcore. Yes, it can. But as soon as you see sales channel specifics or localization specifics, then your PIM systems turn into PX locales entities, like countries and sales in specific geographies. Inside a country, we may have venues, sales over specific online stores.
Внутри страны у нас есть понятие площадок, когда мы говорим о продажах на разных площадках.
The channels, like the Wildberries and La Modas of this world. We can also have a division inside one venue into different categories. Say if our product is sold to user groups like mums or a user group like motorists over 40, you can make different descriptions and segment those descriptions depending on which category you try to sell, in the language that is clear to them, so that you can sell more to a specific group of users. And all the descriptions may be stored in our PXM system and set it up so that different descriptions were uploaded to one platform for different categories of shoppers. But then it means that you need lots of information about the product, not just its features and what is it, but also how should it be presented to specific customer segments. So you get different segments and descriptions for them. Is this enough for a start? Can we now start explaining specific examples and bring into the discussion such solutions as pimcore and akeneo? What do you think? Yes, it serves well as an introduction. We can stop here. We told the history, we explained why we need those solutions and what is what. Perfect. Let's move on. Since I'm the one responsible for leafing it through, let me do it. Let's move on. All right, we have two products that we have experience with. But these are very similar products to each other. They're similar technologically, but conceptually they're very different. These are pimcore and akeneo solutions. Let me use the green marker instead. Here. Fine. These products are two different systems, PIM systems. They're basically very similar, but they have key differences. You should say about pimcore that this is very much an MDM system, meaning such a system that although it has lots of tools for product management, can also have customer entities. And thanks to a very complex hierarchical model, it allows to set up any possible entities in it.
Благодаря очень сложной модели иерархии настроить абсолютно любые сущности. То есть
You can fill it with anything. It can eat even the logging data. Naturally, the most applied version of an MDM system is PIM. Because usually, customer data is stored in CRM systems. Therefore, a CRM system is the same as MDM, but for customers. So what shall a modern MDM system do? Work with products. Work with products? All right. So it's an MDM system. But apart from just MDM, it can also specialize in products. So PIM, PCM, DAM, and PXM are included in it. I'm just going to write DAM because the features that a digital asset management system has include PCM capabilities. It is also a PXM, but like we said, it is an MDM first and foremost. So I'll say right away that akeneo is a PIM system in the first instance, meaning you will not be able to manage any other entities there if you're not investing into the upgrade of the solution, since these solutions are open source and you can of course improve them. They are based on PHP Symfony, the 4th Symfony, and both support Elastic. So technologically the solutions are very similar, but pimcore is more of an MDM. It can process any data, manage its updates and changes, whereas PIM systems are about managing product data and processing product data. So, if all of your solutions and processes are about product management, if everything you do fits into PIM systems, your logical choice is going to be akeneo, with some exceptions. Because you might have some very complex products, integrated ones, which you can only break down into hierarchies in an MDM system, like pimcore. Akeneo, on the other hand, does not support complex product hierarchies. We will talk about that later. Also, let's say about akeneo one more thing. That it is a PXM system, but it has a wide range of available tools. You can create locales there for product translations. You can even use such locales for translations within one country only. And you can also set up product channels, specifically for the locations where you want to upload them. Say you have an American marketplace with its own requirements, or a Russian marketplace with its own. Then you can take a channel and slice it thin. You can make categories of the marketplace. Like we said in the beginning, this customer specialization, the customer description focus in akeneo is very well executed. What needs to be added is that PXM capabilities were extended by Akeneo. Akeneo believes that PXM is an opportunity to smartly enrich and collect data from various internet sources about your product and to aggregate it. It might very possibly be that your product is not unique. Say you sell marker pens or telephones. Amazon, vendors, and other websites might have data on such telephones. And imagine you need to smartly bring that data together. Because Amazon might have a better description than the vendor. Enter new attributes. Perhaps any other marketplace enters their own new attributes. And Akeneo has a service for it. This is called Franklin. Ask Franklin. It's a tool, a solution that helps. By the way, you need to say that this service is available in Akeneo Enterprise only. Bear this in mind. Enterprise version is not cheap at all. Yes, I think it's around 30,000. In this sense, Akeneo doesn't have a transparent pricing model that you can see on their website. It looks like this. We're rushing a little, but that's okay. So you send them a query and they respond. Probably it's 30, but you can get it for 50. So they adjust to your business. Yes, license prices are not very transparent, but aim at around 30 to 50,000 euro to buy the license for the enterprise solution. Sometimes Akeneo can ask you to buy licenses for several servers or one for several years. And that's absolutely fine. Yeah, it's possible. All right. Let me mention Franklin in here. And there's another tool in a PXM, an onboarder. Yes, this is a new tool. This is the tool that Akeneo calls a cloud solution. Basically, you get a module that you can synchronize with a section on Akeneo's service where your suppliers can go to and independently from you and your PIM systems enter the required information. Raw data, which is needed. But you see the structured data then in your own PIM, and you don't have to figure out how complex integrations work, which fields have to be entered, and etc. The data will come directly to your system thanks to the Akeneo onboarder. All right, let's tell a little about pimcore. Yes, pimcore. But pimcore has a different philosophy. Pimcore relies on everything there is in terms of programming languages. You can build various models and do data inheritance there. Let's be more specific, so that those who are not familiar with inheritance in programming languages could relate to it. For instance, imagine we have electronics as a category, or electronics as a type of products, electronic goods. And all of them have a compulsory attribute, a name. Name. Now, we need to expand electronics with a new type of products. Displays. Here. We know that for displays, an important attribute is screen diagonal, meaning that apart from the name, we also need to enter diagonals for displays. But displays is too general a category, so we need a new product type, monitors. Let it be monitors. And they might have another attribute, such as the screen refresh rate. Or you can say matrix type. Well, it can also be a display attribute, but still. Let's instead use a leg type for monitors. A type of support, you mean? Yes, a frame or something. Okay. Let's do this. It is clear that we tell basic stuff here, so that it is all understandable. Why do you want such a complex inheritance model? So that when you need to renew all the electronics category, you can do this. Say, add an attribute common for all types of products in the electronics. Like the voltage, yes, the power that electronics consume. And then you add the attribute, and it automatically extends to all the devices. But imagine some category in the electronics doesn't need or will not have the voltage attribute.
Вполне возможно, как бы нет,
like batteries, or solar batteries, or the normal batteries, a calculator, for instance. Then, such product types may have this attribute excluded. Yes, you can state that all attributes will be inherited apart from this one. And it can allow us to, well, to do what? To flexibly set up embedded categories, embedded products, etc. We can do it very flexibly. You can have loads of embedded categories that have their own specific attributes, their own nuances, but some things can be inherited from parents. What is also important is that, considering a very diverse inheritance model, we can list the permissible attributes for each descendant. For instance, you see that displays have no limitation regarding diagonals, while the monitors have. We don't sell monitors less than 14 inches and more than 100 inches, whereas the displays on the walls can be up to a meter or so in length, or even curved. But monitors are set, and then we can use it in their attributes, meaning the operator will not be able to make a mistake. Yes, we will avoid any attributes in the data file for such monitors that shouldn't be there, and it will help you to make fewer mistakes. Now imagine you have a very complex product, say, like a case we often come across, when our customers don't have a lot of product names, but their configurations are multiple. For instance, something we had just recently, a manufacturer of furniture and mattresses. Furniture is a thing in itself, actually. You can assemble what you need from basic blocks, any configurations you need, and then you will have to reflect it in the system somehow. But there is only a limited amount of furniture sets. However, each set can have many coloring options. Or imagine the following: you have a specific color of a specific sofa, but it can only be made with specific textile. Because the same color can be achieved with other textiles, but this sofa can only be made one way. Or you might have special rules for identifying sufficiency of materials. For instance, how much textile you need, so that when the order comes, the order management system delivering specific sofas to specific customers must feed the production with data on how many meters of one kind of textile is needed. And this situation can have lots of nuances and details. It can become very complicated. In such cases, pimcore is more applicable. Although, you have to, guys, you have to sweat to set it all up. PimCore has a much less user-friendly interface. It's not all that clear. You have to really dig deep to be able to get it. Akeneo is different, isn't it? Yes. Let's finalize akeneo now. Akeneo is easier to set up than PimCore. It maintains families of attributes. It doesn't have a too complex inheritance model. If you need it, you have to customize akeneo. But basic families of attributes, inheriting from one family and getting all its attributes plus adding your own is still possible. But you can't take away one attribute from the parent and add your own. You will have problems with this. All of it can be customized. What's also important to know about akeneo? If you just need a storage system for product attributes and you don't have any complex developments, something that we've just described, akeneo is perfect for you. It's easier, faster to set up, of course. It's more universal. If you want to sell out-of-the-box solutions, you need akeneo. If you sell something typical, shoes, clothes, akeneo is great for you. Typical furniture not made to order, well, not the furniture, please. When there's typical furniture, there's also non-standard one. So let's not put furniture in this category. Alright, if your product is simple, akeneo is ideal. If your case is more complex, when you don't just need a product storage system, but something greater like a master data management platform with its own hierarchy, complex cases, complex workflows, inheritance processes, complex data modeling, then you need to take PimCore. I think we covered everything regarding PimCore and akeneo. A lot was told about MDMs, PIMs, and DAMs. But shall we be talking about workflows now, or shall we move it to the next video? It can easily take us another hour to talk about it, because workflows can be in both systems. One is more complex, the other less so. In one case you get it in the enterprise version, in the other without it. And it can easily lead us to BPM systems, and I think we'd better postpone it to the next movie. Perfect. Then we will slice it to different videos, and the next movie will talk about typical PIM cases and where you can use workflows. Because you can't grasp workflows without examples. Yes. Okay. Thank you, friends. In the next video, we will tell you more about PimCore and akeneo. Listen, we're too old. You know how they say now? Like, share, repost, and all things like that.